All right, my man, state your name. Let them know you're on Nicovelli TV.
Yo, Anthony Washington, I'm on Nicovelli TV
That's what's up, baby. We here to talk about these New York Knicks. You a Knicks fan?
all day.
All right, talk to me. What era of the Knicks you enjoyed?
I enjoyed the era of the Knicks when they had Jason Kidd. I think that was 2013.
Okay.
And I liked that era because they had Iman Shepherd, J.R. Smith, Carmelo Anthony, and I felt like that team was a real good team. They also had other guys on that team that was real good because Zeroni and everybody else that they had, they was really doing their thing around that era.
Now, what do you like about Jason Kidd's game? You said you like Jason Kidd.
I like that Jason Kidd was the type of point guard that always made sure his teammates got in position to score, and he always set them up with assists, and he always made sure that it was a team game and that everybody on the team scored, and he made sure he got his assists, and he didn't care about scoring. He made sure that the team was led at a fast-paced speed game, pass the ball, move around, rotate, and score.
Okay, so basically you saying that he was a team player.
Yes, he was a team player. He played for his team first before he played for himself.
Now, you mentioned Melo in that conversation.
Yes.
Do you think Melo offered them same attributes that you mentioned of Jason Kidd?
Nah, I think that's what really messed Melo up when he didn't have a veteran point guard like Jason Kidd around him. After that, you can see that he went downhill. He could not work with the younger point guards because they didn't know how to set plays up. They didn't have that veteran motivation to put in his head, let him know that we got to play team ball. You got to move the ball around. It's not going to be a one-man game where you're going to stop the ball, slow the ball up, dribble, crossovers, and then jump shots. That's what really took over the Knicks and made them go downhill after that.
Is it safe to say, brother, that you feel that Carmelo Anthony slowed the Knicks down? You think that he was more of a hinder to the Knicks? Or do you think he just came at a bad time? Talk to me, brother.
Well, I don't think he slowed them down. I just think that he came at a bad time, and the time that he did come, he didn't have a great point guard like, Jason Kidd. He had Jason Kidd at the last of his era of his veteran years, and so he just didn't have a good player to play with that was good. And, Iman Shepherd and J.R. Smith was two good players, too, that they should have never traded. I felt like if they'd have kept them boys a long time instead of Phil Jackson trading them boys, they would have had a better chance of doing bigger things. But they should have never got rid of them boys. They should let them boys stay.
Now, when we talk about J.R. Smith, no question, J.R. Smith is a wonderful player. But do you think that man was focused enough when he was on the court? As far as, tying the shoelaces at the foul line. Some would say that, J.R. Smith, man, he's iffy. You don't know what you're going to get with that man. What you got to say to those people?
I'm going to keep it real with you. I got to say something. To me, J.R. Smith was iffy, and he was a gritty player, but I guarantee you, at the end of the day, if the Knicks would have got serious and they really would have gave that man the ball, they would have had a lot of chances to score in the paint because the man likes to go to the hole and lay the ball up and dunk. When you check J.R. Smith when he was really with the Knicks at his beginning of his career, when he started with the Knicks, this man was a monster.
Question. Now, all that you have said, you're absolutely right. But what good is having plays if they're not going to stay consistent? You got to stay focused. It's not always about what you do on the court. It's what you do off the court, too. You heard about this man being in the clubs with Rihanna, smoking weed, once again tying shoelaces off the, while on the court. I mean, I'm not taking nothing away, but we got Coach Fizdale. You don't think that he's trying to move in a different direction where we have these young boys who's on point and focused? You know what I'm saying?
I ain't going to lie. I respect Coach Fizdale, the Knicks, the way they moving, and they got the young players and they're building around. But one piece that I feel like if they could just get this boy to come play with the Knicks, Kyrie Irving, the Knicks will win a championship. I guarantee you within a year with Porzingis and Kyrie Irving on the same spot. And Jimmy Butler.
Do you think we could have two? Jimmy Butler and Kyrie? You think it's possible? That would be a good look if we have Kyrie and Jimmy Butler on the New York Knicks. But my question to you, brother, what do you say to those that don't want Kyrie in the city of New York because they say he's injury prone? Shit, you got people who's saying Chris Porzingis is injury prone. Huh? What you got to say to those people, my bro?
Well, see, the New York Knicks, man, since back in the days, they didn't really have the type of players like Patrick Ewing, Oakley, Charles Smith, Stark. So now, for you to think about if Porzingis, Kyrie Irving are going to be injury prone, we'll rather have guys like Kyrie Irving and Porzingis on the team because we already know, as you can check the Knicks past, they haven't had no good players that can play ball 82 games without being injured. So now what we have to look at is a guy like Kyrie Irving coming to the Knicks. I think he'll stay very much healthy in the Knicks, on the Knicks squad, because he will have a lot of playing time. He probably wouldn't have to do as much with Porzingis down there shooting threes as a center.
Okay. Sounds good. Let me ask you this. Chris Porzingis is not with us at the time. We all know that he's injured, nurturing that torn ACL. Now, people are split on this statement I'm about to make. Some people feel like Chris Porzingis should not return this season, stay healthy, work on his body, while others is urgent to see Chris Porzingis back in action. What is your perspective on that?
My perspective, I'm going to keep it real. I'm not a Porzingis fan, but if Porzingis is not healthy at a certain time of the season and the Knicks have a chance to get in the playoffs and there's a way to trade Porzingis, then that might have to be looked into. But I would not trade Porzingis if I couldn't get another center back like LB from the 76ers. It would have to be a package deal that's going to leave me either Anthony Davis, somebody like, tall like that. And if it's not nobody that's going to be tall that's going to guard the paint, then it's a waste of time.
Are you concerned with Chris Porzingis' physique? Some say this man needs to bulk up. That if he don't bulk up, that his time on the Knicks is limited.
You're very much right, because point guards and small forwards should never be able to push a center around the way they push Porzingis around. He looks like he's just bouncing around, and point guards, small forwards, everybody's in the paint, and they're able to just box him out and just grab rebounds. So that is his only problem. If Porzingis puts on more weight and he becomes more of a bodybuilder, he gets a little bit more strength down there on them arms, and he get them legs a little bit more powerful, I guarantee you, this man will be unstoppable. Nobody in the league will be able to guard him one-on-one. He'll beat the next Kevin Durant if he gets his muscles up.
Now, moving on to guards. We have guards on the Knicks. We have Emmanuel Mudiay. We have Frank Ntilikina. We have Trey Burke. Who would you like to see start on the New York Knicks?
I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm a very much of an Allen Iverson fan, and to me, I call Trey Burke baby Allen Iverson. The way he plays, the crossovers, the moves. I give this man a shot this season. I want him to start in point guard, and I want him to take control of the Knicks league. I want the coach Frisdale to give this man a lot of playing time, because I believe he's still got a lot left in his tank, and I call him baby Iverson, even though y'all call Damian Lillard baby Iverson. But you got to look at the way this boy plays. This boy has a lot of baby Iverson in him. Set plays up for him and build the Knicks around this guy. This guy has a lot in the tank. They score. And don't forget the rookie that they just got.
Now, that seems to be the story when I asked about Trey Burke. But when it comes to my man Frank Ntilikina, it's a lot of controversy coming towards this France player.
Yes.
Defense is going to win games.
Yes.
The Knicks hasn't been in the playoffs in quite some time. You're not going to make the playoffs if you don't have defense.
Yes.
Is it safe to say that Frank Ntilikina plays better defense than Trey Burke?
I'm going to say it right now, and I'm going to say it to everybody. Frank Ntilikina. Frank does not play better defense than Trey Burke. Because, for one, you got to remember, he's tall. He's a France player, and he also needs to build muscles up so he doesn't get boxed in the paint by guys like Chris Paul that just box him in the paint and just swoosh over his head.
My man, now you know you caught on camera saying that Trey Burke plays better defense than Frank Ntilikina. You're going to have to back them statements up, because Frank Ntilikina is the expert on defense. We all know he can play defense. Let me give you a chance to redeem yourself, brother, or you can stick by what you just said.
Well, I think he plays a little bit. He has the height to play the D, but I just haven't seen enough blocks come from a tall point guard his size. The way he looks 6'6". A guy his size is supposed to dominate on point guards like Chris Paul. Anybody that's little that's a point guard, even guys like Isaiah Thomas. When you play against them guys, you're supposed to pin their ball straight to the basket. That's where I see the differences. I'm not saying that he's not a better defensive player than Troy Burke. Burke plays defense better as far as when it comes to the boxing out and keeping your point guard out the paint and not letting your point guard box you in the paint and just swish on you and fade away, and you have no type of leverage. That's what I'm talking about with Frank the Kid. He has a lot of learning to do, and once he learned how to block